Yo, what is up? It's been a minute since my latest video, but I'm back now and I'm currently walking. It's 6:30 in the morning. I'm currently walking towards the ship terminal because I'm heading to Tallinn, Estonia, and this video will be about Tallinn or filmed in Tallinn. And this is interesting because I've been in Tallinn once before, but I've been only in Old Town. So the city of Tallinn is completely new to me, even though it's quite close to Helsinki. It's gonna be 2 hour, about 80 kilometer ship ride ahead. But yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna go and check in to the ship and talk to you soon. Right, made it to the ship. Now it's a couple of hours wait. I thought this was the same ship that I went to. I think there's at least a couple of different companies to go from Helsinki to Tallinn, at least in every 2 hours. But this time I took this Silja line. I think this is the most. I think the other companies are more like if you're having a truck or a car or something, and this is maybe the nicest one, kind of. But I decided to take this one today because they offer the kind of day trip that you buy the ticket to go and spend some time in Estonia and then come back during the night, and that's a lot cheaper than if you buy like the individual trips. So I paid, this was like 40 euros, which I got a discount, so I paid 30. So I think that's pretty nice. So it's like 15 euros one way. I wanted to go to the deck to see the dark sea, which is quite nice, and I like it. So I'm gonna chill and look around the deck a little bit and then go sit around, drink some coffee and stuff like that. Yeah, it's around 80 kilometers, 2 hours on the sea. Gotta be a little careful on these decks because I know at least a couple of cases where there's been people missing. I guess that this also is like legendary that this ship people are quite drunk, at least on the evening. Now it's pretty chill, there's not many people even in this ship and stuff, but there's people going pretty drunk and things getting a bit hectic. But yeah, I recommend this Silja line. But if you're traveling by feet and if you want to return to Helsinki, this day trip is cheaper than buying the individual return tickets. And like I said, there is at least a couple of companies, different ship companies going from Helsinki to Tallinn and back. Terminal is not far from the city center of Helsinki, it's like a walking distance even, and also this goes pretty much very close to the center of Tallinn, so it's quite convenient to go by the ship. You know, it's funny, I never go to the elevator in these cruise ships, because if the things start to go south, that's not where you want to be, stuck in an elevator. I don't know, I have zero fear of flying, and I cannot say that I have fear in these boats neither. I think it's pretty chill, but they still feel kind of sketchy, and I've been thinking it might stem out of, because there was, even though I was like 5 years old, I'm pretty sure it was 94 when there was a huge accident. The ship that went from Tallinn to Stockholm, it sank in front of Finland, and many people died. And even though I was 5, I still remember, because the rescuers were mainly from Finland. I remember the helicopters flying over our apartment and stuff, going to rescue the people, and they brought the people to the hospital in Turku, where I lived at the time, and things like that. And it was a huge thing in news, and people still talk about it a lot, and even though it's over 30 years ago, and I think it stems from there. I think that's a huge national trauma for Finnish people. Yeah, but I don't know where I am. I just took some random, I don't know if this is like a maintenance place or whatever, but I'm gonna go back. But Anyway, I think there's some national trauma, and that also kind of made me a little, I won't say that I'm scared, because I don't really, but it feels a little bit sketchy always to be in a ship. It's not my favorite way of traveling, but it's quite chill. This is Baltic Ocean, by the way, if I didn't mention that earlier, where we are now, and it's pretty cold and dark during the winter, so there's a bunch of things to do in this trip if you want to. There's like a gaming systems, bunch of restaurants, coffee shops. If you drink alcohol, there's plenty of bars, and also tax-free shops where you can buy tax-free stuff. I think it's a little bit cheaper than in normal stores like perfumes and things like that. Alright, just arrived to Tallinn. First things first, I'm gonna go check out some Soviet Union architecture. It's like, I don't know, 1 kilometer from the port, so that's where I'm gonna head. One thing is much colder than in Helsinki. I didn't expect it to be this much colder. I think it was minus 2 or minus 4 when I left, but here is minus 8, so I'm glad I put enough clothing, because I was kind of dabbling about what should I wear. I don't know much anything about Tallinn or Estonia in general, but except that it's been a central point in Soviet Union stuff, and KGB has had headquarters and things like that. And I did some research, and I found out that in 1940s Tallinn was occupied by Soviet Union, and soon after that happened. It has actually pretty dark history. That's what I know. But yeah, 1940s Tallinn was occupied by Soviet Union, and soon after that they started to arrest and execute and harass some people that were like, I guess they were looked at being against Soviet Union stuff. The things turned quite ugly pretty early, and many of the people during that time already were taken to the prison camps and working camps in Siberia. I also learned that in 1941 and until 1944 Tallinn was occupied by Germany, and in 1944 the Soviet Union occupied Tallinn again, and they started bombing, and there was a lot of suffering for civilians and stuff, and that was the start of Stalinism, which led to oppression, and even more people were captured and sent to Siberia. 10,000 people from Tallinn were captured. I found the architecture, by the way. This is officially, this is closed. So there hasn't been any taken care of during the winter. There's so slippery and snowy, but yes, I'm here up here. But yeah, what I was saying, that time, after or during and after World War, it changed the language-scape here in Estonia, and also population, which is still can be seen today from that era. There's a lot of Russian population, and you can hear a Russian a lot. And during the Soviet era, which lasted from the until 90s, it ended in 91 if I'm not mistaken. That was when the industrialization started in Tallinn, and suburbs were built in this really Soviet-style manner. During the Soviet era, the people living in Tallinn, they were facing a lot of needs. They were censored, and their traveling was limited. Basically, they were victims of communist terror. But late 80s, early 90s, the revolution started, and Tallinn returned back to independence in 91 when the Soviet Union collapsed. Here is still a lot of remnants of Soviet era, like monuments, architecture, suburbs and stuff like that. And now I'm actually here in one of them. This was built in 1980s by Lenin. I think this was before this was called like Lenin Sports Palace or something. Now it's called Linnahall. It's this huge brutalist architecture. Now there's graffiti and stuff. I kinda like how it looks. This is one place that it's left, for example, of that era, and now we're gonna take a look a little bit better. But this is closed, I guess. There's all these chain link fences and stuff. You cannot go really. I'm gonna go top there because it looks like that you can go there, but it's not open for public in official sense. But let's go explore this a little bit. I think that's a nice detail that it's like the Hotel Viru is at the end of this geometrical thing that's built here. I guess there might have been before, at least that's been like lights or something. I don't know if it's been had with the roof or something too, but yeah, this was built for the what is it, when they raced the boats during the Olympics in 1980s. But yeah, this is like quite close to the center, very close to the port is right there. And this is a bit feet. I think during the summer or when there's no snow, this is easy, but now you need to work to get up here. And it's really slippery. You can easily slide down these stairs. They also say that this is the best view to the sea from Tallinn, and it definitely already looks like that. This is quite nice view to Tallinn as well, actually. There's people even swimming there. It's like -8, but some people like that stuff. This also looks like a really nice spot for snowboarding. I've seen a couple of clips with skateboarding. Somebody was doing some drop-ins in this, but yeah, now this looks like a pretty perfect hang-around spot during the summer and stuff. I also like how the fog is, how the city is looking through the fog. This is really pretty nice day to come to do this video, even though it's a bit cold, but I'm glad I wore a lot of clothes, so it's alright. But yeah, this looks definitely like something where people come to hang around. It's like a spot for urban culture, a lot of graffiti everywhere, and this nice brutalist architecture looks really nice. I think they have been talking about demolishing this whole thing, and they already changed the name to Linnahall because of the past. What I've understood, the Soviet era is not like, they don't look at it just as like a neutral historical period, but they look at it like the city was occupied by military. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a little bit more time here and then I'm gonna head. I don't know, there's the prison. That was what I was going to go and see, but I don't know where it is. I don't remember, some prison anyway. I want to see that too. If I understood right, it's like right. Actually, it might be there. But anyway, I think I'm gonna go check it out a little bit, and then go after that. I'm gonna go to the old town. Alright, I googled It's called Patarei prison. It's a 1 kilometer walk from this Linnahall, so I'm gonna walk and take a look at it. It's too bad because it's been open for public, and what I understood, it was at least quite original, that they haven't renovated, and people they were saying that people even get sick because it was so crazy place that there where you could go and visit it inside. But I looked from the internet because that's something that I would have liked to go inside and see. I saw that it will be renovated until 2027, so we're not gonna get in, but I want to go and see it from the outside. Anyway, this is some cultural center actually. That right there is a contemporary art museum of Estonia, but it's not open today, so we're not going. And this is also some cultural place. And yeah, I forgot what I was talking about, the Patarei prison, but anyway, we're gonna go and take a look at it. Today this Tallinn has been they have been rebranding themselves, and I guess they have done pretty good job because there is a lot of nice museums. It's very people from Finland. They used to travel for alcohol, and they still do, but they now also travel for food. So there must be nice restaurants and stuff, and some design that Tallinn is famous of, and a lot of art I can see already here. I don't know what is this, but there's a lot of sculpture. This is some type of sculptural park in the behind of this contemporary art museum, which been built in this old, I guess it's a factory, and this is some another, I don't know, electrical factory or something. But yeah, I really like how this been done, and there's a lot of places to spend time in. Especially must be really nice during the summer when you actually can be outside. It's also a little windy here, so definitely not hanging outside times, but yeah. But yeah, it's been Tallinn been rebranding itself to more maybe more attractive to youth and to kind of every person, I guess. But it looks really nice here too, as even though this is like I guess this is old port or something. But I guess looking at the architecture here, this is like pretty much seafront. Behind these buildings is the sea, and I think this has been built, the whole seafront, what it looks like at least. I don't know if the port, I guess the port has been always there, but I guess this has been just some wasteland or something, and they have started to expand the city here and build some housing here, because okay, here in the another side of the road is not that new, all of them. But for example, there's a lot of, while I've been walking, all the buildings have been pretty much like this tiny metal and ice built, most likely less than 10 years ago. So I guess they are expanding the city like this, kinda like in Helsinki. Okay, now this starts to look like a prison. Yeah, here it says, or not, it doesn't say that it's a prison, but Patarei. Already the wipe change looks pretty rough. Must be ghosts here and stuff also. But yeah, let's go deeper in and see what's in here. Yeah, that guard tower looks rough as hell, and what I've heard the stories that this has been a pretty rough place. I don't remember when this was closed. Maybe 80s, maybe 90s. I have to Google that. I think how I can read the French, I guess it says that it's the memorial for 878 men who has been deported to France in 15th of May 1944 from Kaunas, Tallinn and Stadthof. And I guess 22 survivors came back in 1945. Yes, the museum is closed. I wish it wasn't, because I would really like to go and see. But yeah, let's go. Even now this is like modernized, all these windows and stuff, they have been painted and things. But this place looks scary as hell. But look. I don't know what's that, looks like an egg. Look at all this. It looks so rough. I'm pretty sure that says just that you are not allowed to run your car here for no reason. But when this bit put there with this type of graphics, it looks like that you're gonna get fucked up. Ah, fucking bird! I almost shit in my pants. I found some remnants of the prisoner. This is a lockpick. This was a good spot. I recommend coming checking this out, even if the museum is closed, cause this is especially now that it's like this foggy overcast weather, a little bit cold and stuff. This is a perfect weather to visit a place like this. Look at it. Look at that, a prison door. This place looks crazy, and all those cells without windows, they look rough as hell. Even these trees have some Christmas lights, but they don't. I don't know how much Christmas vibe you get out of those LED lights. They don't do much in this case. But man, it's been super tough to be in this prison, I guess. There's even, I think these are cannons. Yeah, what the fuck? Old cannons. I don't know what that is, and is this like some bird hole or what? I don't know if you can see. Looks super rough. Love is love. Let's put the GoPro for what it does best. I don't know what's there, if there's a ghost or whatever. I also sometimes think about that it would be fun that I put my camera like that and somebody steals it. It would be super crazy if that happened in an old prison like this, but yeah, look. inside, now I'm out again. What's that? You know what, I just realized that the water here, the sea water, so much cleaner than in Helsinki. I think in Helsinki you barely can see if there was like water, this is maybe 20 centimeters of water, you wouldn't see the rocks that bright. I guess it's because of the, I don't know, winds or something. I don't know, I'm not a sea biologist, but anyway. Yeah, but this is the behind of Patarei prison. This is a really nice spot to visit. I recommend 100% to walk here, even though the museum is not open. And when the museum opens, I think that's a place to visit. I hope they still keep the prison like in an original condition, more or less. Because even outside this looks so rough that I cannot imagine how it is inside. Now I'm gonna go and head back to Old Town. I want some coffee. And I think also the weather is getting a little bit warmer. It's definitely not 8 degrees anymore. I think that's funny. Let's collect memories in the prison. I think that's not the place. If you want to collect memories somewhere, not in the prison. That looked like a homeless shelter or like a place where the homeless people live. I don't know if it was what it looks, but it came to my mind also that so far I've been here now maybe a couple of hours walking around, but I haven't been in the center or nothing. But I haven't seen any like in Helsinki you see all the time people having bad time, but here so far at least I haven't seen any. But graffiti seems to be doing really well here. Everywhere is some nice graffiti. I'm getting closer to the Old Town, but as I was talking earlier about the Estonia accident, here is the memorial. Of course there was a spot where you can walk there without going through the snow, but I didn't see it. September 28, 1994. There is all the names of the people who died. I'm not sure if it was like 800 people who died. I guess most of them were Estonians and Swedish, but some Finnish as well, most likely some other countries as well. It was a horrible tragedy. I realized there is another part of this. It's like a cut line or something. I need to read about. I read once what it symbolizes, but I totally forgot. Okay, arriving to Old Town. This is the gate. There is some walkway that you go through. There is some stuff that you can see. I like the contrast of that graffiti with that old building. This is the cathedral that shows everywhere. That is the KGB headquarters building, and the cells are downstairs. The rest of the building has been made of some pretty expensive apartments, but they have still saved the jail cells in their more or less original condition. And those have kind of dark and brutal history, because people were interrogated, tortured, and I guess even executed in those cells. So if you're interested in that type of history, that's a place to visit for sure. Took a quick pit stop, coffee and changed the batteries to my camera and stuff like that, and now heading up this hill to the viewpoint. I want to film a little bit from there. I'm now in Old Town. I walk through the, I guess it's just main strip of the Old Town. It's like a basic tourist stuff, coffee shops, souvenir shops and all that. And I have to say, I think it's much colder here in the center than before I was here at the Patarei prison and more close to the sea, which I didn't expect at all. And this city seems to be built on a hill, at least this Old Town. I guess because it's the medievals, they have had to build it on a hill, because then they can protect it from uphill to downhill. But yeah, I think I made it to the top and I'll be soon at the viewpoint. Arrived to the view spot. It's like a balcony, and look at this. It's my sticker I left there on my latest visit. But yeah, here is the best. I guess this is the best view of Tallinn. It's really nice day, this foggy overcast. Yeah, now I'm gonna head out of the old town, going to the center, which I don't even know where it is. I've never been there, so I need to take out my map and check out where I should go. Also, I need to find some food soon as well, so maybe I'm gonna grab something on the way. Here is a bunch of interesting museums in Tallinn, but I haven't visited any of them, and I'm not gonna visit them now neither. One of them, for example, because I'm a photographer, Fotografiska, but I was checking, it didn't have right now anything too interesting. I think in next week it's opening Anton Corbin exhibition, who is a nice photographer, rock and roll and stuff like that, some classic iconic works that everyone's seen. So I think the museum stuff here is in a nice level, some world class. And I've seen bunch of these things here on the street. I don't know what's the deal with those. You can make yourself a lucky penny. Apparently this old town is also counted as a center, so obviously also if you think about it, but I was talking about that now I want to go and see the modern center, whatever that is. I guess that's around somewhere around the Viru Hotel. This is the famous market square, but I don't remember its name. Oh yeah, I forget that this old town is part of UNESCO World Heritage stuff. Now it's starting to look like that I'm going away from the medieval old town and coming to some more modern area. There I can see actually the Hotel Viru, which is also a KGB place. Right, arrived to the somewhere more loud. I guess this is some main road through the city, and next to me is the legendary Viru Hotel. That was also some type of headquarters of KGB back in Soviet era. Now they have a KGB museum, which I was kind of thinking of visiting. But I think I don't have time to do that because you have to reserve the tour, which I heard is pretty interesting. But yeah, it's like a spying museum. Oh yeah, I think it was their spying headquarters. The another one in the old town was the jails, like prisons, and I think general headquarters. And this was where they were running the spying operation. But don't count on my word. But I'm pretty sure. But yeah, now I'm arriving somewhere that looks more like a central banking district. There's like high-rise buildings and stuff like that, so I'm excited to go see this place. I've never been there before. And this Viru Hotel is one of those places. I think this is the only place that I knew about Tallinn before I came here for the first time and found out about the old town and things like that, because there's a lot of stories and legends of the things happening in Viru Hotel, not just the KGB stuff, but because Finnish people have come here. I don't think Tallinn is that much bigger than Helsinki, but it definitely has that big city vibe that Helsinki don't have, at least on this street. I'm gonna take a couple of side streets here and see how it is. But yeah, definitely this is like some kind of central business area. You know what I just realized? Many of those big crosswalks, they have traffic lights that show in seconds how many seconds there are when they turn red or green, and I just realized that makes it really concrete how much time you spend standing in the traffic lights. But anyway, I'm back in the old town. I'm gonna cross this and go to a place called Telliskivi. I heard that it's a creative area of Tallinn. It also have that photography museum that I'm gonna check, but I'm not gonna go in there because the exhibition didn't look so interesting. I tried to pick some new lanes that I haven't seen before, and I walk everywhere. It's too much hassle. This is not so big city, especially if you're staying in this center area, that I don't think you necessarily need a bus. I think the buses and the public transportation, if you're citizen of Tallinn, it's free for you, if I'm correct. That's quite nice. Another church. This is the Monument of Independence. Actually, this is really famous. I just came here by accident. I thought it was somewhere like much further away. Nice catch. I think that's a fire department showing off. There you can take a shit. Here are a lot of reminders from the history of that Soviet era. Like there was some, I guess it was the Estonia's Freedoms Museum. Then that statue was, I guess, some kind of central figure of the freedom of Estonia. And the old town is a proper medieval town, surrounded by. This is actually where I'm now walking. This is I don't know what it's called in English, but it's like, I'm pretty sure this has been the like water bank that's protecting the castles and stuff, and also the whole town, the old town, being protected by a wall. What a great park. But yeah, now that I think about it, I've been walking a bunch of spots in this center area, and of course it's Tuesday afternoon, and it's been Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, but still it's been pretty chill, like compared to Helsinki these days. Like I haven't seen any. I saw a couple of drunk people hanging out there in the spot on one spot in the close to the Viru Hotel and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. I haven't seen anything like people going crazy or acting antisocial way or nothing like that, so it seems much cleaner. Also, even the snow is white here, at least even in this park. In Helsinki I go to park, the snow is grey for some reason. I was also thinking, because I was walking the business area and they were building, I guess, new offices and high-rise buildings, I would guess, because it was the area that I have no idea how is the economy going in Estonia, but looking at that I think it must be going at least okay. And also nowadays there's no, if you want to see some bands, foreign bands live shows, you have to come here. They're not coming to Helsinki anymore. I don't know why is that, because I don't think it's the only reason that is a little bit out of way. Of course it's easier to come in Estonia, but they are like, usually when you see that there's some there's some foreign band having a show. These days they are in Finland. They are not saying that it's coming to Finland, but they are saying that it's coming close to Finland, and which means that they are playing here in Tallinn. Took a scenic road to here, took a couple of wrong roads, wrong turns, but I guess now I'm heading to Telliskivi or close to it, because there's a distillery. Yeah, there's coffee shops popping up here and there, and yes, there is the Fotografiska. They have a huge building, I didn't realize that, but I'm gonna go there. I guess they have a coffee shop there in the photo museum as well, so I'm gonna take a coffee there and chill a little bit, and then gonna walk around some more. I don't know, but that looks like a prison as well. And what is this? Okay, this looks really nice area, I like it. There's a bowling, billiards and stuff. When you see 3 things in a small area, that means it's a creative area. Coffee shops, brewery or distillery, and place where they sell bicycles. So I crossed all 3 of those, and that means I'm officially in Telliskivi. And what is this? What else is a sticker time? Nice. I really like that area with the train tracks and that old building painted in graffiti. But in general, this Telliskivi place is like a creative center, like you find in most bigger cities in Europe. It looks exactly the same. Some barrels as a table, those forklift truck things made chairs and stuff. Some hipster friends in a bike and baristas in every corner. Which is alright. I think it's good to have a spot like that where it's a little bit more free. You can paint graffiti everywhere, and like same kind of people have that community there to create and get inspired by each other. But yeah, in the summer I bet it's buzzing. And also I was surprised that Fotografiska was really nice museum, even though I didn't go there other than took a coffee and sit there a little bit. But yeah, now I'm heading back to somewhere in the center. I have a couple of hours to spare before I had to hop into the ship again. But I also just realized that this Telliskivi is right next to the airport. No, not the airport, I mean the train station. This is the church, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, there's 12 churches in this super small area. I also just realized, because I'm approaching the center, that how long of a road I took to go to Telliskivi earlier, but it's okay, because I saw some stuff that I wouldn't have seen otherwise, but still it took at least double the time. I took that 15th century alley shortcut. Okay, the sun is going down and my legs are getting pretty cooked. I think I'm soon about to hit 20 kilometers walking around, so I'm gonna show a couple of more things and then head back to the port and board the ship. But yeah, I have to say, walking around the center for the whole day, that it feels much safer these days than Helsinki. I didn't see anything, like I didn't see any people using drugs or like doing anything extraordinary or whatever, like acting crazy. Yeah, it feels much safer than Helsinki, so that was a positive surprise. And it's also very clean everywhere and smells good though. But I have to say that the chocolate is much better in Finland. Fazer and also Panda chocolates are better than this Kalev stuff. I tried couple of them. Nope, I'm sorry. One thing that I have to talk about pretty much is that why people from Finland, why they come here, and it's because of this thing. It's called Viinaralli in Finnish, and it translates pretty much like booze races, and people come here to buy liquor, because in Finland alcohol is much more controlled, or the selling the alcohol and buying alcohol, it's much more controlled than here, and in Finland the taxes are higher, so it's more expensive. People have come here because of alcohol since the 90s, because it's cheaper and it's quite quick trip. You take a ship here, go to Alko. There is this super Alko right here in the like next to the terminal, so you don't need to even go to the city or anywhere. You can just come here to the terminal and buy the alcohol and go back, so it's quite quick trip if you think about it. And especially after 2004, when I think Estonia became an EU country, the importing became even more easier than that, so people come here and buy. And you can bring, I think it's now that you can bring what you can kind of, you cannot bring it to sell it forward, but you can bring like the amount that it's looked at is for personal use. But I think it's still quite high that you cannot, like people come here and buy like vans full of alcohol. I'm gonna check the ChatGPT how much you can bring. Okay, so you can bring beer 110 liters, wine and stuff like that 90 liters, and then the heavy, or what it's called, strong spirits 10 liters and stuff like that. But go and check this out before you buy and go to the customs and get fucked, because this was just some quick ChatGPT facts about that stuff. Yeah, Finnish people have brought a lot of money historically in here in Tallinn by buying alcohol and consuming other things, traveling here and having fun. So a lot of things have been built that in mind for Finns to consume. And also the traveling to Tallinn, it's been quite romanticized in Finnish pop culture. Like there's many songs that are like talking about traveling to Tallinn, they are usually pretty decadent songs, so it's kind of the decadence is the word for Tallinn travel. Except now these days, like I mentioned before, Tallinn has been kind of rebranding this like more food and high culture and design place where the young people travel and not so much come here to drink. But here you can see there is Super Algo and there is Another Algo and there is the terminal, the ship terminal. So I guess there is no like rule that you have to spend any time in the country, but you can just go drive your car or whatever out of the ferry here and go pick your alcohol stuff and then wait until the next ship is coming in like 2 hours. Probably it's gonna take that 2 hours that you pick the stuff, and then there will be the next ferry right when you have done with the alcohol shopping, and you can drive your car back to the ferry and go back to Finland. So that's where the booze rally comes from. But there's still this one place before I go back to the terminal that I want to check. This is like some marketplace here in the port. It's called Port Market. Let's see what's in here. The Finnish ex-president, that's his ball. Some bootleg shirts. Here is even a tattoo shop. Let me know in the comments, would you take a tattoo here? I guess there's a lot of shirts that have these slogans in Finnish, so I guess I was just thinking that what they have built here for Finnish people, I think that's one of the things that Estonia has made just for Finnish people. Okay, that was a proper bootleg all things store. The dude was trying to sell me pepper spray and taser, but you cannot hold those in Finland, and probably you get in troubles if you try to import that as well. So no deal. But he said also that you can, that it's not illegal in Estonia to carry pepper spray, and I guess not illegal to carry taser neither if he's selling it. I didn't see taser though, so maybe he had it behind the counter or whatever, but yeah. I think I can board the ship in like 1 hour, so there is one shopping mall I'm gonna go and maybe buy some drink, cause it's probably cheaper than in the ferry, and then head back to the terminal, go to the ship and end the video there in the ferry. Okay, made it back to the ship, and now waiting. This ferry will leave in 30 minutes, and then it's 2-hour ride back to Helsinki. It's just a little bit snowy. Doesn't look like. Looks quite a calm weather, so it's all good. I think the weather is like -4, something like that, and yeah, I'm pretty cooked. I spent all day on food, 8-9 hours, 21 kilometers, and yeah, now I'm gonna go and chill a couple of hours. And I'm trying to pump more videos on my channel, the long form content. Let's see what I'm gonna do next. It's been a bit hectic, so it's been a minute since the previous video, and yeah, with that, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, share, leave your Tallinn stories in the comments, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.